Blackstone Audiobooks presents
Mr. Standfast by John Buchan. Part 1, Chapter 1, The Wicket Gate. I spent 1/3 of my journey looking out of the window of a first-class carriage, the next in a local motor car following the course of a trout stream in a shallow valley, and the last tramping over a ridge of down and through great beech woods to my quarters for the night. In the first part, I was in an infamous temper. In the second, I was worried and mystified. But the cool twilight of the third stage calmed and heartened me, and I reached the gates of Foss Manor with a mighty appetite and a quiet mind. As we slipped up the Thames Valley on the smooth Great Western Line, I had reflected ruefully on the thorns in the path of duty. For more than a year I'd never been out of khaki, except the months I spent in hospital. They gave me my battalion before the Somme, and I came out of that weary battle after the first big September fighting with a crack in my head and a DSO. I had received a CB for the Erzurum business, so what with these and my Matabele and South African medals and the Legion of Honour, I had a chest like the High Priest's breastplate. I rejoined in January and got a brigade on the eve of Arras. There we had a star turn and took about as many prisoners as we put infantry over the top. After that we were hauled out for a month, and subsequently planted in a bad bit on the Scarp, with a hint that we would soon be used for a big push. Then suddenly I was ordered home to report to the War Office, and passed on by them to Bullivant and his merry men. So here I was sitting in a railway carriage, in a grey tweed suit, with a neat new suitcase on the rack, labelled CB. The initials stood for Cornelius Brand, for that was my name now. And an old boy in the corner was asking me questions and wondering audibly why I wasn't fighting, while a young blood of a second lieutenant with a wound stripe was eyeing me with scorn. The old chap was one of the cross-examining type, and after he'd borrowed my matches, he set to work to find out all about me. He was a tremendous fire-eater and a bit of a pessimist about our slow progress in the West. I told him I came from South Africa and was a mining engineer. "Been fighting with both up?" he asked. "No," I said, "I'm not the fighting kind." The second lieutenant screwed up his nose. "Is there no conscription in South Africa?" "Thank God there isn't," I said, and the old fellow begged permission to tell me a lot of unpalatable things. I knew his kind, and didn't give much for it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?